tension rises on the young and the restless as Malcolm's life hangs in the balance and Kane launches a ruthless revenge plan. Abby and Devin demand justice for Mariah, while Lily guards a dangerous secret and receives a chilling warning. In Las Vegas, Chelsea may catch Adam in a shocking betrayal with Riza. Meanwhile, sinister traps, hidden secrets, and sneak attacks threaten everyone. As Diane continues to reject Jack, drama escalates across Genoa City with explosive twists ahead. Welcome to A Mysterious Time TV, where the drama unfolds and the stories captivate. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of Young and the Restless, uncovering untold stories and hidden truths behind the headlines. YNR Recap Tuesday, April 7th. Malcolm's life hangs in the balance. Kane is out for blood. Kane finds out Arabesque is completely wiped out, fires his accountant, and starts drawing up a list of companies to take. Malcolm pulls Lily aside to tell her he has aplastic anemia and needs her as a potential bone marrow donor, and Dr. Stephanie Simmons arrives in Genoa City to tell her son Holden the truth about his father. This episode of The Young and the Restless airs Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 in the USA, and one day ahead in Canada. Crimson Lights. Holden is reviewing job opportunities on his phone, but not finding anything that motivates him. He gets a message from someone saying they're running late but almost there. That makes him smile and Audra arrives, asking him if he has good news. "It's great news," he says. Audra says she hopes that Holden's good move doesn't involve Claire. She says she's just being a friend and trying to protect his heart. He says she lies beautifully and that the real reason she doesn't want him around Claire is because he might reveal what happened in LA. He accuses her of toying with people, withdrawing as soon as someone shows interest. Audra says he's pining for a woman he'll never have. Audra apologizes for her harshness, but she's tired of being pressed to break up Kyle and Claire. She suggests he get a job to occupy his time. He insists that she still wants Kyle. Holden threatens to come clean and take his chances. Audra tells him not to dare. She warns him that she will make his life hell if she reveals what happened. Dr. Stephanie Simmons walks in and asks who the hell Audra thinks she is, threatening her son. Holden introduces Audra, and they try to pass off their exchange as kidding around. They also explain they aren't involved. Stephanie refuses to shake Audra's extended hand. Audra assures her that she and Holden would never do anything to hurt each other, and Stephanie finally shakes her hand. Holden wants to know what brings Stephanie to town, and she turns to Audra and asks to speak to Holden alone. Audra agrees and departs. Once Audra is out of earshot, she tells Holden she doesn't like that girl, and warns him to watch his back. Audra is shown watching them from a distance. Stephanie says she has to tell Holden something that will change his world. It's time that he learn the truth about his father. GCAC dining room. Nate and Devin find Lily, and Nate admits that they're still pretty upset about the fake kidnapping. He invites her to join them for a working breakfast, but she's meeting someone. Devin hopes it's not Kane. Lily says Kane isn't speaking to her. Nate expresses his frustration at the fake kidnapping, insisting they would have played along if she'd just let them know. Malcolm Winters walks in and greets everyone. Malcolm says he's come to Genoa City for some family time. Devin tries to call Lily out for the fake kidnapping, but she steamrolls him and he lets it go, so Malcolm doesn't get the story. Nate and Devin are left alone as Lily and Malcolm depart for the jazz lounge. Devin mentions that Kane seems to be at the center of every bit of trouble lately, and says he's worried that Lily thinks she can ultimately change him. Nate doesn't see how they could salvage their relationship after the fake kidnapping. Devin hopes Kane just leaves town, but just then Kane walks in and says he's sorry to disappoint, but he's not going anywhere. Devin asks if he thinks it's funny. Kane says he does think it's funny that he has such an interest in where he lives. Devin says nothing's keeping him anymore, Lily's done, the kids are done, he has no business. Kane says he has plans, but won't say anything about them. Devin says he will personally go after Kane if any of his plans involve his family. Kane says he's not that much a masochist, he's through with Lily. Phyllis walks in and asks if that's true, commenting that it took him long enough. Kane suggests that Phyllis stay out of it. Nate says everyone can agree on that. Malcolm walks in and Phyllis greets him with a hug. She asks him to come by and see her office at the former Newman Enterprises. Lily is also returning to the scene, promising Devin she'll tell him later what she discussed with Malcolm while Phyllis fawns over Malcolm. Kane and Malcolm exchange a cold greeting, with Malcolm warning Kane to leave his family alone. Kane says they've all made it very clear they don't want him around, and that the feeling is mutual. Kane leaves, followed shortly by Phyllis. Malcolm isn't sure how long he'll be in town, and seems preoccupied with his phone. He says he has to go meet an old friend and everything is perfectly fine. With Malcolm gone, Devin and Nate want to know what Lily talked about with him, but suddenly she doesn't want to tell. At the bar, Phyllis tells Kane that it's hard to watch him degrade himself chasing Lily around. He asks her to sit somewhere else. She explains that anyone can sit at the bar. Phyllis decides to play a guessing game. Does Kane want revenge on Lily? Victor? Herself? Or all of the above? Kane smiles. Kane's office. Kane is meeting with an accountant who tells him the news isn't good regarding Arabesque. Kane is dumbstruck, there's nothing left of the company, and all the money is gone. Kane is furious, but all the doors are closed, banks won't even return their calls. Kane says he has a new plan, he's going to take what other people have. He wants to know which companies are weakest, vulnerable for takeover. The accountant is concerned that Kane is looking to cross legal lines. Kane fires him on the spot for his doubts, yelling after him and throwing papers around. Summer's conglomerate. Phyllis is on the phone with Bobby at another company, negotiating a contract. She doesn't seem to be getting her way, but she is telling the person on the other line that it's a new way of doing business. When she hangs up and calls Lauren, she says she got the contract for less than expected and is thrilled. She says they don't need anyone else, it's us against them. Neil Winter's Jazz Lounge. Lily and Malcolm have gone downstairs at the GCAC, and Malcolm has something difficult to say. He tells her not to be scared of what he's about to say, but he has aplastic anemia. It's serious, but only fatal if untreated. He was diagnosed early, but he needs her help to save his life. Malcolm needs a bone marrow transplant. Lily instantly agrees, but he says even if she's a match it's no walk in the park. She won't hear it. They talk about the prognosis, and things seem hopeful but still uncertain. Lily hated that she couldn't save Neil, and she's glad she has a chance to save Malcolm. Next update. Abby and Devin vow Mariah will be punished, and Lily receives a warning. Monday, April 6, 2026, today on The Young and the Restless, Jack fails to make amends with Diane, Holden balks at Kane's offer, and Kane blows off Lily. At the club, Jack begs Diane for a moment. If they are over, Victor has won. She won't take the blame for that. Jack is sick about what he's done and begs to plead his case. She's not sure there's anything to say. When she heard he was with Patty, she expected the worst, but catching him in bed with that psycho was even more horrible than what she imagined. How will they ever trust each other again? Kyle wanders in and Diane sends Jack packing. Kyle reminds his mother that she works with Jack, so they can't avoid each other. Diane can be professional. Her son doesn't think it's that simple. She asks if Kyle's planning to fire her for getting out of line. He would never do that. Is there any way for her to get past what his father did? Diane says it's not right for him to pressure her. Devin blames Mariah. Lily is surprised to have been invited back to the Chancellor estate, where Devin fills her in on Mariah's lenient plea deal. He can't help but think she got off easy due to lawyers' tricks. Devin wants Mariah to get treatment, but he also wants her to receive more than a slap on the wrist. Clearly, she's not who she used to be and can't be trusted not to manipulate her doctors into thinking she's better. Lily urges him to drop his anger. When she probes him for the details about the abduction, he becomes defensive. They thought Dom was just playing a game when he first disappeared. His sister urges him not to blame himself or Abby and to consider how traumatized they have been. Devin's not feeling traumatized, he's angry. And he doesn't blame himself, this is all Mariah's fault. Abby's conflicted. At Society, Daniel finds Abby taking stock behind the bar. She knows he's close to Tessa, so she asks if he knows what the plan for Mariah is once she's had treatment. He doesn't. After they discuss how well Dominic has coped, Abby admits she isn't doing so well. She doesn't know how she can put a stop to her fears, and isn't confident that treatment is enough of a punishment for Mariah. Daniel tells her how much pain Mariah has been in, her trauma is what drove her to do what she did. Abby understands that, but she can't stop worrying and wants Mariah held accountable. Daniel baby Y&R. Holden warns Lily. At Crimson Lights, Holden is surprised that Kane wants him to be a weapon against Victor. Ashby reminds him he's close to Claire. He needs him to get intel from her. This makes Holden uncomfortable, so his boss decides they have no more to discuss. As Ashby walks away, Holden trails after him. Kane says he'll have to find a different way to go after Victor. If something comes up that he can use Holden for, he'll let him know. Ashby freezes when he sees Lily walk in. Kane suggests they should cross the street whenever they see each other. She wants to talk, but he rejects her and walks out. Holden corners Lily before she can go. He tells her how frantic Kane became when she went missing and even sent him to find her. He's startled when she admits she was never in danger. Now everyone is angry with her. Jack beats himself up. At the Abbott mansion, Tracy listens to Jack beat himself up about what he's done to drive Diane out. She says Billy told her what happened with Patty and she's sure it wouldn't have happened if he hadn't been drugged. Jack wonders what it means that he didn't resist. In the past, he was a playboy, but he spent his life trying to step up and live up to John's example. Tracy assures him he's done a remarkable job, but he feels like a failure. The final scenes. Still at Crimson Lights, Holden tells Lily that Kane has been pushed into a vindictive frame of mind. His fight against Victor will get big and ugly. He warns her not to get caught in the middle. At the Abbott manse, Tracy tells Jack he can't let his relationship be derailed. He can't see a way to make things right. At the club, Diane admits to Kyle that she's angry at that woman and Victor, but mostly at Jack. Kyle can't give up on his parents. Diane is in tears and needs to call it a night. At Society, Abby admits to Devin she's not sold on Mariah merely spending time in a psych ward, but prison is a big jump. Devin declares that the judge and the DA haven't been serving the community. He'll make sure they don't get re-elected, and then he'll see that justice is served. Mariah's punishment simply isn't good enough. Next update. The Young and the Restless spoilers next 2 weeks, sinister traps, sneak attacks, buried secrets unearthed. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, April 6th to April 17th, reveal that some gripping storylines will come with some curveballs. There'll be some surprises happening in both Genoa City and Vegas, so let's talk about what Y&R has in store. During the week of April 6th to 10th, Diane Jenkins Abbott will reject Jack Abbott's attempt to apologize while Devin Winters rages over Mariah Copeland belonging in prison. Holden Novak will also turn down Kane Ashby's job offer since he won't want to manipulate Claire Newman for Victor Newman information. Later, it looks like Holden might come clean to Claire about what Kane asked him to do. Holden may assure Claire that he turned Kane down, but he might also warn her about how ugly things could get if Kane's Victor takedown plot moves forward. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers will try to stir up some temptation for Kane, but he may not be interested in another bedroom romp or any more alliances. Malcolm Winters and Dr. Stephanie Simmons will also return to Genoa City for a stunning storyline that'll make some serious waves. Y&R spoilers say a secret will be revealed that ties to Stephanie and Malcolm's past, so could that involve Holden being their biological child? Lily will become privy to some huge news and seek Tracy Abbott's advice before trying to help Malcolm. Will Lily try to bring Holden and Malcolm together once the truth leads to tension? In Las Vegas, Adam Newman will get even more tangled in Reza Thompson's web. Reza will set up the Spider and Matt Clark meeting that Matt agreed to, so trouble is brewing. Adam will continue his makeout sessions with Reza in the meantime and act like he's on board with the private celebration she has in mind later. Nick Newman will have questions about Adam's charade and whether he'll go all the way in his betrayal of Chelsea Lawson. As for Matt, he's got a trap coming up for Nick. Matt will leave Nick feeling cornered as the danger ramps up, so a showdown could play out during the week of April 13th to 17th. Next, Chelsea will grow increasingly concerned about Adam reverting to Spider and not being able to come back from it. Will Chelsea fly to Vegas next and get tangled up in the action? If that's the case, Chelsea could find Adam looking too close for comfort with Reza. Over with Jack, he'll have more Patty Williams drama to contend with. Patty isn't giving up when it comes to making Jack her man and will soon score an ally or two to help her. Jack, on the other hand, will be determined to fix his marriage to Diane Jenkins Abbott, so he may brainstorm ways to convince her that their love is forever. Of course, Jack certainly won't forget about his revenge goals when it comes to Victor Newman, and neither will Matt. Will Jack team up with Kane or stick to a solo mission? Will Matt sneak back to Genoa City and attack Victor when he thinks he's safe? The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some twists and turns, so stay tuned. Next update. Young and the Restless spoilers video preview April 6th to 10th. Malcolm returns. This week's video reveals that Adam is in over his head in Vegas, while Lily receives a surprise. April is full of surprises on the Young and the Restless. Spoilers for this week's video previews that the Winters family has a reunion while Adam faces temptation. Here's a glimpse of what's ahead for April 6th to 10th. Key takeaways. Reza wants a special celebration after her and Adam's huge win. Nick warns Adam about getting more involved with Reza. Malcolm returns and reunites with his family and a former love. Next on. Adam knew returning to Vegas would be risky and it might spell trouble for him and Chelsea. As part of the plan to track down Matt, Adam's been cozying up to Reza. The former gambling partners have reconnected as they hustle and bustle their way around the card tables. While Adam's trying to stay focused on his plan, Reza has other ideas. After their next heist, Risa suggests that they do some celebrating later. Ada says he's looking forward to it before he and Risa kiss. Adam and Risa have locked lips a few times, and one must wonder if they'll take things to the next level. It's something that Nick, Joshua Morrow, is curious about too. When Adam returns and fills Nick in his progress, Nick inquires about Adam's relationship with Risa. "How far are you willing to go with this woman?" Nick asks. While Adam will assure a concerned Nick that nothing will happen, Adam could slip back into old habits and potentially ruin his future with Chelsea. Winter's family reunion. Lily meets with Devin at the GCAC, where a surprise awaits them. As the siblings sit down for lunch, Malcolm walks in. Lily smiles as she sees Malcolm, who's just as happy to see them. It's been 3 years since Malcolm's last appearance, and he'll have a lot of catching up to do with his family. But Lily and Devin aren't the only ones that Malcolm will reunite with while in Genoa City. After getting settled in, Malcolm goes to Crimson Lights to meet Stephanie. Their conversation soon turns to their past relationship. Stephanie reminds Malcolm how Olivia and Drew set them up because they thought they'd be perfect for each other. It seems that a Stephanie and Malcolm reunion could be in the making. However, any hope of a reunion might be dashed by some secrets that could change the couple's future. Next update. The Young and the Restless Monday, April 6 update. Kane's ice-cold Lily move, Jack's dinner ban. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, April 6 indicate that Kane Ashby will have a frosty response to Lily Winters while Jack Abbott strikes out with Diane Jenkins Abbott once again. At Crimson Lights, Holden Novak will decline Kane's job offer since it would require manipulating Claire Newman for Victor Newman intel. Meanwhile, Lily will have a discussion with Devin Winters about Dominic Winters' abduction and whether Mariah Copeland belongs in prison. Although Lily will think Mariah's psychiatric hospital stay is the best thing for her, Devin won't like the fact that she didn't truly get punished for her crime. Devin will think Mariah knew enough to know right from wrong and that she deserves more than a cushy mental hospital stint. Over with Abby, she'll discuss the Mariah situation with Daniel Romalotti Jr. as well. Daniel will think Mariah's mental health treatment is the best option and will hope healing will be possible for everyone eventually. However, Devin will be fuming when he meets up with Lily at the restaurant. After Devin vows to make sure the judge and district attorney don't get re-elected, he'll stick with his belief that Mariah deserves prison time. At the athletic club, Jack will try to convince Diane to forgive him, but he'll blunder his plea by bringing up Victor. Jack won't want Victor to win, but Diane will angrily put the focus back on what Jack did with Patty Williams in bed. Drugged or not, Jack still made a choice according to Diane. After Diane admits she's too angry to get past this, she'll join Kyle Abbott for dinner and make it clear that Jack isn't invited. Kyle will speak privately with Diane about the drama that could be brewing at Jabot if she remains at odds with Jack. Diane will refuse to take a leave of absence because of Jack's actions. When Diane questions if Kyle intends to fire her, he'll insist he won't. Kyle will just want peace between his parents, but he'll finally stop pressuring Diane since that's not fair to her. That said, Kyle won't really know what Diane expects of him. When Kyle asks if Diane wants him to give up on their reunion and hate Jack, she'll suggest maybe he could hate Jack a little bit. Diane will eventually lose her appetite and ditch her dinner with Kyle, so he'll seem worried about her on Monday's Y&R episode. At the Abbott mansion, Tracy Abbott will console Jack over his issues with Diane and give him a nudge to keep fighting for their future. Back at the coffee house, Kane will be as cold as ice when Lily approaches him for a conversation. Kane will be offended over Lily finally wanting to talk after all those times he tried to make things right. Once Kane walks away, Holden will corner Lily and get the news that the kidnapping was a ruse. Holden will feel like Kane is headed down a bad road since he's got something big brewing against Victor. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Holden will try to steer Lily away from the danger, but will she listen? Next update. Young and the Restless spoilers weekly update April 6th to 10th. Lily guards a big secret. Tune in to find out about the drama happening in Genoa City. The Young and the Restless spoilers weekly update for April 6th to 10th tease that Lily is entrusted with a big secret from Malcolm, and she works hard to guard it. Plus, Malcolm and Stephanie reunite. Tune in next week so you can catch all of the action in Genoa City. Weekly recap. Monday, March 30th, 2026, episode 13344. Victor delivered a clear warning shot to Kane, making it known that he was still in control and willing to escalate if pushed further. The move wasn't just strategic, it was personal, setting the tone for what was to come. At the same time, Lily found herself under fire from both Devin and Nate, who questioned her recent actions with Victor and the fallout they caused. Meanwhile, Nikki stood firm with her family, making it clear she wasn't backing down, even as tensions continued to rise. Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, episode 13345. Devin and Abby, Melissa Ordway, were rocked by upsetting news about Dominic, forcing them to confront fears about his safety and what it meant for their family moving forward. The emotional weight of the situation brought urgency to their next steps. Elsewhere, Kyle, Michael Mealer, and Claire, Haley Aaron, found themselves at odds, struggling to reconcile their opposing views on a deeply personal issue. Their disagreement exposed underlying fractures in their relationship. Meanwhile, Tessa faced a difficult decision regarding Mariah, torn between standing by her and protecting herself from further heartbreak. Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, episode 13346. Nick ventured further down a dangerous path, making choices in Vegas that signaled he was losing control even as he insisted otherwise. His actions carried growing consequences, especially as the situation with Matt Clark intensified. At the same time, Danny offered Daniel and Tessa an exciting opportunity with his tour that could change their trajectory, forcing them to consider what they truly wanted next. Meanwhile, Adam fully embraced his alter ego, stepping back into Spider, which was both effective and risky, raising concerns about what that might mean moving forward. Thursday, April 2nd, 2026, episode 13347. Phyllis held Lily accountable for her actions with Victor, refusing to let her off the hook. Elsewhere, Victoria defended Victor's actions, standing by him despite growing criticism and raising questions about how far her loyalty would go. At the same time, Matt Clark moved in on Nick, recognizing an opportunity as Nick's behavior grew increasingly erratic, positioning himself to take advantage of the situation. Friday, April 3rd, 2026, episode 13348. Victor made good on his threat, proving once again that his words carried real consequences and reinforcing his dominance in the ongoing power struggle. Meanwhile, Nikki used her power of persuasion with Jack, attempting to influence his next move even as emotions ran high. Elsewhere, Diane and Kyle pressed Victoria for answers, challenging her stance and trying to break through her loyalty to Victor. At the same time, Sienna caught Noah reminiscing with Audra, raising questions about unresolved feelings. Next week's breakdown. Monday, April 6th, 2026, episode 13349. Diane refuses to accept Jack's apology. Abby reaches out to an old friend. Holden finds himself in a compromising position. Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, episode 13350. Malcolm returns home with a secret, while Dr. Stephanie Simmons make a surprise visit to Genoa City. Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, episode 13351. Malcolm and Stephanie have an emotional reunion. Phyllis tempts Cain. Lily is trusted with a shocking secret. Thursday, April 9th, 2026, episode 13352. Stephanie and Malcolm are forced to discuss their complicated past. Lily leans on Tracy for guidance. Claire sees a new side to Holden. Friday, April 10th, 2026, episode 13353. Lily takes matters into her own hands to help Malcolm. Adam plays with fire. Matt Clark backs Nick into a corner. Next update. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Chelsea's Vegas ambush, catches Adam and Riza in bed. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that some other Genoa City residents may make their way to Las Vegas and join that storyline. Adam Newman and Nick Newman are on a Matt Clark takedown mission, but other characters may become part of the action soon. Since Chelsea Lawson is so concerned about Adam reverting to Spider, she may not be able to stand this much longer. Chelsea doesn't want to lose the new and improved version of Adam she's fallen so hard for. That could happen if this Vegas plot messes with Adam's head and leaves him feeling like a real part of Spider's world again. Chelsea doesn't want Spider and all his problems coming home to her, especially since they have Connor Newman to think about. Adam's attempt to get back in the game involves being in Riza Thompson's orbit again, so Chelsea isn't thrilled about that either. Chelsea claims she's worried about who Adam was as a person when he knew Riza, but she may be a little jealous as well. Between that jealousy and Chelsea's growing fears about Adam, she may end up hopping a flight to Vegas at some point. That could spell trouble since Adam and Riza have been sharing kisses that could potentially turn into more. YNR's preview video for the week of April 6th to 10th makes it clear that Riza's hoping for some bedroom passion. The promo also leaves Nick wondering how far Adam's going to take this whole Riza thing. Many fans are wondering that as well, so let's consider how Chelsea's Vegas ambush might go down. It's possible that Chelsea will catch Adam and Riza in a compromising position. Even if Adam doesn't land in bed with Riza, she could perhaps talk him into a game of strip poker. If Chelsea barges in on Riza and Adam with very little clothes on, there's going to be trouble. Riza knows Adam is in a relationship and clearly doesn't care, so she may not care if Chelsea rips into her either. Riza might argue that she was just helping Spider remember how to have fun again. Nevertheless, Chelsea could lose it on Adam and wonder how this is supposed to be helping to find Matt. Adam may seriously disappoint Chelsea and set the stage for a huge fight. Of course, Adam may be more concerned about Chelsea being in Vegas with Madman Matt in town. If Adam tries to get rid of Chelsea, she may accuse him of wanting her gone so he can live it up with Riza. This could turn into a major challenge for Chelsea and Adam to tackle, so stay tuned for any difficult news ahead for this couple. The Young and the Restless spoilers say things are about to spiral out of control in Vegas. Next update. Young and the Restless spoilers April 6th, Diane says no to Jack. Abby proves she's a Newman. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, April 6th won't allow Diane to budge an iota when it comes to Jack's explanations about Patty. Key takeaways. Jack asks Diane for forgiveness. Holden looks guilty. Abby seeks help. Next on YNR. Diane understands, intellectually, that Victor had Jack kidnapped, stashed away on a boat, and drugged. Diane understands, intellectually, that Jack was not fully in control of himself when he slept with Patty. But, emotionally, Diane can't get over the sight of her husband in bed with another woman. So when Jack keeps apologizing, Diane keeps turning him down. Some part of him must have wanted to be unfaithful in order for him to have gone through with it. Hatchet Man. Kane enjoys having flunkies to do his dirty work, and now he's back to Holden. Kane hired Holden to go after Victor, and Holden was cool with the concept. Kane warned that it would be a dirty job. Okay, Holden shrugged. But it's one thing to say it, another thing to do it. And still a third thing to have other people find out about it. People like Claire, for instance. Out of network. Abby was understanding about Mariah kidnapping Dominic, up to a point. Abby could be generous when she thought Mariah would go on trial and be locked up for life. When Abby found out Mariah's punishment was a stint in a mental institution after which she would be free to return to Genoa City, Abby was less pleased. The Newmans may rarely remember that Abby is one of them, but the connection sure does come in handy. Abby is a Newman, an abbot, and kind of, sort of, a chancellor. Which means when she wants to pull strings, she has plenty available to pull. Next update. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Holden rejects bio parents, sends Malcolm and Stephanie away. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that when Dr. Stephanie Simmons hits the screen again, she'll deliver some game-changing news that could upend multiple lives. Stephanie will make a big confession during the week of April 6th to 10th, so that could involve a bit of a history rewrite. There's a good chance Y&R will claim Stephanie was pregnant with Malcolm Winter's baby when she left Genoa City decades ago. Did that baby grow up to be Holden Novak? There are certainly clues pointing in that direction. Of course, the problem is Malcolm and Stephanie's return stint will be brief. The duo will make a huge splash with a mini-story instead of one that'll play out over many months in Genoa City. That kind of limits things when it comes to Holden's reaction to the wild material that's coming. It's possible Holden was adopted and never got any answers about his bio parents. It's also possible Stephanie passed Holden off as another man's child, which would be another way to explain Holden having Novak as a last name. Either way, this obviously isn't going to be some warm and fuzzy family story, at least not right now. Whether Holden learns the truth about both bio parents or just gets a paternity shocker, trouble is brewing. If Holden accepted Malcolm and Stephanie with open arms, they'd probably want to stick around Genoa City for family bonding. It also wouldn't be very soapy if Holden was thrilled and we got no drama out of this curveball. Instead, Holden may lash out and want nothing to do with either one of them. Holden may reject Malcolm and Stephanie before insisting he doesn't want any kind of relationship. That could send Stephanie and Malcolm off canvas again quickly while Lily Winters bonds with her new biological half-brother. Lily may try to get through to Holden and pave the way for him to become a little more accepting of his bio family. Based on Shamar Moore's interview with TV Insider, he'll return to filming along with Vivica Fox this month so that the story can have more of a conclusion. That might bring a moment where Holden softens a bit. Holden might end things on better terms with Stephanie and Malcolm the next time they're in town, so there could indeed be some family bonding before they have to leave again. The Young and the Restless spoilers say plenty of excitement is on the way thanks to Buried Secrets, so stay tuned. Next update. Y&R The Rinse April 3rd, Kane targets Victor directly as the feud crosses a dangerous line. Kane escalated the feud by targeting Victor directly, forcing a response he may not control. In the April 3rd episode of The Young and the Restless, Kane made the move that shifted this feud into something far more dangerous. By ordering Holden to target Victor, he removed any remaining distance between strategy and action. This stopped being about power plays and became a direct confrontation. Key takeaways. Kane escalated by targeting Victor directly. Holden became the instrument of that move. The feud shifted from controlled to volatile. What happened? Kane put Victor in the crosshairs. Kane made a deliberate choice to escalate. He didn't hint, suggest, or posture. He gave Holden a clear directive to go after Victor, signaling that this was no longer about maneuvering behind the scenes. The language mattered. Kane acknowledged the move would be ugly, which means he understood exactly what kind of line he was crossing. This wasn't a calculated business play. It was a decision to apply pressure in a way that forces a response. By putting Holden in that position, Kane created distance for himself while still ensuring the move would be carried out. That separation doesn't reduce the impact. It reinforces how intentional the escalation was. Why it matters, Kane changed the terms. This moment broke the structure the feud had been operating within. Up to this point, the conflict relied on strategy, manipulation, and controlled retaliation. Kane removed that layer. Ordering a direct move on Victor introduced a level of unpredictability that can't be managed the same way. It forces Victor to respond to something immediate rather than something he can anticipate and counter in advance. It also redefined Kane's role. He stopped reacting to Victor and started dictating the pace of the conflict. That shift made him a more immediate and serious threat. The fallout, Kane forced a response he can't control. Once Kane gave that order, the situation stopped being contained. Victor isn't someone who absorbs pressure quietly. A direct move guarantees escalation in return. That's where the risk sits. Kane initiated the action, but he doesn't control how far it goes once Victor responds. The move creates momentum that can't easily be redirected. This wasn't just another step in the feud. It was a shift in how the feud operates. Kane didn't just escalate things. He changed the level of the game. For more of the latest updates and behind-the-scenes secrets from Young and the Restless, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Stay in the know with every new release.